Hello, I hope you can see my screen and also hear my voice. So we are on the third day of the month. This is 3rd of September 2019, and we will start analysis by first looking at the main pairs. We will start with Euro USD, and since yesterday you actually said this was supposed to be a sell, we are overall downwards. We are not going to look at it again from the monthly or weekly. We are going to measure on daily and then lesser time frame, daily, 4 hours, and possibly 1 hour. So on the daily, this is what we have. Yesterday, there's a big move downwards. If you check the overall trend here, we are basically to the lower side. You check with this indicator. This is an indicator. We have an alligator indicator. This one. As you can see, the overall trend is bearish. The price keeps making lower lows, and as long as you have price remaining below this level here, we actually expect price to be continuing to the left. So if you are looking at this side at the moment, you better not be looking for a buy. You should be looking for sell positions, and that sell should happen only when price retraces. So as it is, we have a sell. There's an active downtrend, but we need to find the correct place to sell from, and that correct place is what I'm trying to look for. We have a level there, also have this. So the entire zone is a good support, and then there's a big decline. We are still bearish. So since it's like we have this level here. This is a good one. So as I was saying, there's no clear level on this chart based on what's happening currently, but we can see that there's a clear trend to the left side. So instead of looking for any sell levels, you need to look for retracement levels. So if price retraces back to any level, or if it gives you a sign that you're continuing to the lower side, you need to look for a trade in that direction. So if you see a sell, maybe you're looking at a pin bar or engulfing candles, or maybe pin inside bars, look for trades in that direction. So we are only going to trade if price shows us a signal in the direction of the overall trend. If we see a sell signal to the last sell signal, we'll pick the sell. If there's a pin bar, inside bar, we'll also pick that. So far we are bearish. There is an active trend to the lower side, which means if you are looking at this chart at the moment, you ought to be looking for trades, and those trades needs to be sell position. So you wait for the trades and then you pick the sell. So we'll move forward. I've already mentioned that from the 4 hours that we are in a seller's place. Therefore, we need to wait for retracement up to the level which I've mentioned, and that level should be, I don't know if you can remember it, we have 1.2090. That's the correct place that price needs to retrace back up to. So if price perfectly retraces up to that level, then I recommend you look for a sell from that point. So this is what we have, the level. We move forward to our next symbol, which is USDJPY. So USDJPY on the 1 month, we're actually supposed to look for a sell, a buy. We closed above a clear level. Then earlier this month, it actually gapped below. So that could mean that we could head downwards despite the fact that we are at a key level. So if you are trading this correctly, if you see any sell signal from around this level here, pick that sell. But if price goes and breaks below 105.02, then expect it to continue even lower. So if you are looking at this chart, something like this, we expect a break above and then a retracement. Then we'll continue perfectly towards this resistance. Yeah. And if price breaks downwards, which is below this level, we'll simply wait for retracement, then we sell it. So you wait for a sell there, and then you wait for a buy in case it goes above. These are the only two things: a break below, a retracement, then you pick a sell; a break above, a retracement, then you pick a buy up to the top. So we'll move forward. We move to our next symbol, and that should be SP500. And before I proceed, I'd like to mention that if you are trading USDJPY, be sure to correlate it with the SP500. The two seems to be moving in the same direction. If you're looking for a sell on SP500, look for the same sell on USDJPY. And if you're looking for a buy on USDJPY, look for the same buy on SP500. The two are moving in the same direction. So that is something which is significant. You need to have that in mind before you pick any trade on this. And so, which means if I'll be waiting for a sell here around this resistance here, the same sell must be there on SP500. If you can't find the same sell on SP500, please wait for it. Don't be in a rush to enter a trade which is not correlating with the one on SP500. We have the SP500 chart here. Is how the chart looks. Just look at how clear this resistance is, and then this support. And if I remember yesterday, I actually mentioned that this was a very good resistance, a resistance, and if price can come back perfectly up to this level, that will form a good place to sell from. So we are basically just waiting for price to try rising up to 938.0. Then we'll sell it from that point to this support here, and then if it comes back, it bounces back, we'll buy it up to the next level. So basically this is a sell there, and this is a buy. And in case of a breakout, should price break above, then we'll wait for retracement there before we can buy it even higher. So technically, we are looking for a sell if case price goes up to this level. If it breaks above, we'll continue buying it. On the other side, if it breaks below this lower line, then we'll wait for retracement before we can continue selling it even lower. So if you are looking at this chart at the moment, you better be looking for the levels which I've drawn. They are the best levels. I'm not going to recommend any trade in the course of the day, but should price come back towards this resistance before the end of this week, then that will be a very good place to look for a trade from. So break above means we're continuing, A break below means we'll continue to the lower side. So we'll move forward. We move to our next chart, which is Brent oil. We have Brent oil there, and then you can see this is what has happened so far. We had our ship at a wedge formation, a resistance. It continued down. It came back as a resistance. It continued down. It came back as a resistance, and then there's a perfect break to the lower side. So this is a possible bearish continuation sign. The fact that price has gone below this trend line means that we are likely to see further move even lower up to this level here. So if you are looking at this pair, you better be looking for sell positions. This symbol, you better be looking for sell orders. That's the best thing you need to do. Look for sell orders, and that should happen better if price retraces to the upper side. So we know this is a sell, yes, but should price retrace back upwards, then that will give us the correct place to look for a sell from. So we'll move forward. To our next and the last chart for today. That should be gold. Before I move on to gold, I also want to mention that gold so far has been moving to the upper side. On the monthly chart, we actually went above a very good resistance. Somehow we are still above the same level. So that means we expect price to be proceeding to the upper side ultimately. Despite the fact that there's some consolidation, we actually expect price to proceed upwards. If you're looking at this side, these are the levels to look for. We have, first of all, a shape. This is a very good shape. Yeah. Then we have the lower one. Then we have this as a resistance here. We also have this as a resistance there. Then we have this as a support. We have that as a support, and then we also have this as a resistance. So technically, this should be a sell as long as the price is below this level. Now that the price has gone below but ascended up again above it, we are likely to see a move to the upper side. So on the upper side, we have this as the resistance. This is the resistance where price needs to break beyond. We have that zone. This is the resistance, Then we want to see a break above, then a retracement before we continue even higher. This is what we expect to happen. So if you are checking this chart with me at the moment, you better be waiting for price to go beyond this level. This is a sell, yes. Temporarily, you are likely to see a move up to this level. But if it closes above 1527.56 by the end of today, then there could be a move up to this resistance. And if it breaks above the same resistance, that will mean we are continuing to the upper side. So we'll look for a buy above this level. And if it bounces off from this thin line, then the next best place is here. So that should bring us to the end of today's market overview. We meet again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you. So one more thing, if you have any questions, please feel free to post them under the chat option under this on the right hand side of your screen. This where it's written the top chat. You can leave your comments. You can say anything you think about this webinar. If you want me to talk about any pair which is other than the ones that I've mentioned, you can also mention it under the chat option. So thank you. See you again tomorrow.